Got another scintillating college game for you here early in the season. We've had nothing but one-point games in overtime in the Coaches versus Cancer Icon Classic so far. Tonight's championship game for the Big 12, the 6th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks, and out of the Big East, the Red Storm of St. John's, the hometown guys who pulled off the big upset in knocking off Kentucky last night. Bob Carpenter along with Dick Vitale, and we welcome you. And it was wild here last night as we got down to the final minute in a game where Kentucky had basically been in control all the way. Wildcats couldn't close out the deal after the missed free throw. Omar Cook will drive. Anthony Glover will make it a 2-point game. On the inbounds play, the Red Storm got a break, and they took over possession under their own basket. A perfect out-of-bounds play. Glover ties it up. He would then hit a free throw to take the lead 62-61. The Cats came down the floor, could not get a final shot, and that was the big upset. And here they are, Dick, in the championship game.
Well, I'll tell you, they got here because of a great performance out of Omar the Truth Cook. The diaper dandy was absolutely sensational, and I think tonight we're going to see some dynamite point guard play.
Well, the Kansas Jayhawks may be as good a balance as anybody in the country when you look at their front court and their back court.
Well, you know, you talk about Collison and certainly up front, good and a tremendous offensive rebounder, but I love their back court. And Kirk Heinrich was sensational last night. So Heinrich against Omar Cook, a natural big-time point guard matchup.
Now, what about the emotion, Dick, that comes into play in this game? It is so early in the season, but St. John's has so much to gain by winning this game.
Well, you know, so does Kansas in a way, but Kansas, a veteran basketball team, and you look right now at St. John's, they are really very young, especially their point guard. But I like the Super Six of Kansas. They got size, they got balance, they got scoring. I know one thing, the Garden will be rocking tonight. This show has been sensational.
Well, that's because the Johnnies are in the championship game. Jay Billis is with us tonight. And Jay, how about this for the second night of the season with everything at stake right here?
Well, it's outstanding, Bob. And as Dick Vitale alluded to when he mentioned Drew Gooden, Kansas is an outstanding rebounding team, out-rebounding their opponents by an average of over 8 rebounds per game last year. That was among the top 10 in the nation in rebounding. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the big people of St. John's, and most especially Anthony Glover, the hero of last night's game with 21 points and 6 rebounds. Glover only about 6'5", but if you ask any coach in the Big East, they will tell you he plays more like 6'9" or 6'10". Glover is going to have to live up to his nickname tonight, that of man-child, to be able to put these other young St. John's big men on his shoulders and carry them against this big Kansas front line. Nobody plays harder in the country than does Anthony Glover. And I talked with a prominent Big East coach today that said he sets the tone for them not only in games but also in practice. I talked with Mike Jarvis before they came out this afternoon, and he was saying that they need to get out to a much better start. They did not get off to a good start last night. They need to get off to one tonight, Bob.
Well, maybe the bad news for St. John's, it's November. Kansas has won 30 straight in the month of November. Jayhawks and the Storm coming up.
Just a bit of magic. Oh, you gotta see it. Slightly unexpected. Perfectly perfected. Ahead of your head, I said. Our stuff is what dreams are made of. Time to bring it on home.
High-definition television, made possible by Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Oh, just a bit of magic.
Hi, I'm Tony Conza, founder of Blimpie. I'm just a simple sandwich man. Started making them over 35 years ago. Fresh baked bread, oven roasted turkey, and aged Swiss. I think a sandwich like that sells itself, but our ad agency tells me that repetition of the name Blimpie will help customers remember us. Simply Blimpie, for the finest deli cuts around. Try the Blimpie best. Try the Blimpie best. You know how our ad guys feel about repetition.
Samsung joyfully introduces the world as you make it, where our digital technology has one job: to make life more fun. We want to thrill you, connect you, charm you, satisfy you, and delight you.
Everyone's invited
To the Samsung digital experience.
What do I want the internet to be? I want it to be like Frank here. He really knows customers. Package Frank. Put him together with the internet. Now you've got something. You know, I just want doing e-business with us to be more human.
Today, Nortel Networks is combining the power of the new high-performance internet with the tools your business needs to deliver stronger, more Frank-like e-business solutions.
Come together right now over me.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is presented by Icon, the way business gets communicated, and in part by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise, we'll pick you up. And by Expedia.com, all the insights you need to book the right trip online. Don't just travel, travel right.
Well, we've got a lot of emotion here tonight. The KU band is here, some Jayhawk fans, but this is a St. John's house down on 7th Avenue tonight. Roy Williams, in his 13th year at Kansas, the much documented staying. He's won 338. By the way, he was the fastest coach ever to 250 wins. He's got a great backcourt, great balance, and rebounding, Roy feels, is the key for his club.
We lost some games last year by the inability to stop the other team from getting second shots. And we've got to be a good defensive rebounding team and hopefully get some offensive rebounds ourselves. And if we do a great job on the backboards, then we've got a chance to be very good.
Mike Jarvis at Boston U, at GW, and now at St. John's. Having to work in a lot of new players, lots of new faces. Barkley, Thornton, Postel are all gone. These are the Johnnies of this year, and the coach is looking for balance from his club.
I'd much rather have 5 guys average 15 points or 12 points a game than have 2 guys averaging 25 or 30. So the way we play, nobody's going to have to carry us offensively by themselves. It just won't work that way.
And maybe we're going to have some fun here tonight, Dick Vitale, because both of these clubs love to run. They love to push the ball. They love to score quickly in transition.
Kansas certainly, as we said, a lot of balance. And you talk about Omar Cook, he's going to be really tested tonight by Kirk Heinrich. I will throw this out. Last year in the NCAA tournament, Jason Williams, a sensational freshman, went 2 for 15 for Duke against Heinrich, who played brilliantly in that game. In that game, Duke found a way to get to the winner's circle, but it was a tough game, and Heinrich got the better of Jason Williams in that game, so Cook's going to have his hands full tonight.
Jayhawks in their road blues, quickly off the tip. Chenoweth, it's Gregory. Heinrich to the big fella, who's playing with a lot more confidence now than he did when he was out of shape last year.
They're going to take advantage of Chenoweth early in the game with the size factor and the experience factor against Cuff.
Collison got the start instead of Gooden tonight. We saw him handle it. Here's Boshi off a high pick. Quick release, short with it, and the rebound ripped down by Kyle Cuff.
Here's the matchup. Heinrich playing against Cook. Oh, he's the chef. He makes things happen.
Entry pass. Backdoor Glover. He went right to Collison to draw the foul.
Well, Glover did a great job shaping up to the basketball. That's a terminology used by coaches. Shape up, post up, come wide, come to the basketball. Here he is now, stepping to the ball. He dominated in the second half last night. Scored 21 points, but really made big plays when their back was really in trouble.
Perfect from the line last night, 5 out of 5. His numbers from last season when he made the All-Big East newcomer team. Yeah, he's a second-year junior because he was a non-qualifier as a freshman and did not play.
Came from a great high school program, Rice High School, produced so many outstanding players.
Including Felipe Lopez.
Yeah, Felipe had a great career on a high school level, so super. He was a cover of Sports Illustrated before he ever played a college game.
0 for 2. Collison the rebound. Here come the Jayhawks.
That was a problem from last night. Brad and I talked about it, Bob, making free throws. I mean, they went to a stretch late in the game, missed 7 out of 10. Yet we're able to get to the winner's circle.
Here's Boshi looking on top. Collison the dump down, and it's off the hands of Chenoweth. When Kansas gets in the half court, it's a passing game. But Joe Holliday, who's now the dean of Roy Williams' assistants in his 8th year. He says, we don't call it a passing game. We call it our screening game because we want our kids to be setting picks all over the place.
They want to read and react to the defensive play, and they want to be able to read and react in motion offensively, and they do a great job screening.
There's Jesse. Chenoweth adjusted that shot. The left-hander for Kyle Cuff. And that right there is the perfect indication of the St. John's half-court offense. They like sets and quick hits, and they went right for the glass that time.
Good job by Kyle Cuff. Very active there.
Chenoweth to Boshi. Heinrich flashes on top.
Cuff also from out of Rice High School. Played with Andre Barrett. Now going to wear the uniform for Seton Hall.
Gregory had a great game last night, but he stopped cold there by Jesse. We've got a whistle.
We got some great matchups. Jesse versus Gregory. Two quick slashing players head-to-head. We talk about the perimeter when we look at the matchup with Heinrich and certainly Cook. Cook's got that strong body. I think a New York City legend point guards. We talk about Pearl Washington, who was so strong at Syracuse, Kenny Anderson, Georgia Tech, Stephon Marbury, and this kid will be talked about in the same breath as all of those great ones.
Heinrich, quick look to Collison. He traveled. Anthony Glover was riding his hip. Roy is without one of his best weapons, though. He is without Luke Axtell, a sprained ankle. He's a 6'10 senior who can step outside and shoot from anywhere. They will really be multi-dimensional when Luke is back healthy.
Well, they would have a super 7. I'll tell you one thing, St. John's really was D'ing it up in the first 2 possessions, and so is Kansas right here. Going to take real good execution offensively to get the kind of shots they want.
Here's Jesse Boshi taking the charge perfectly.
And he took it outside the perforated line because the semicircle, which they're utilizing here. So look at Mike Jarvis, almost went with the Washington Wizards. Didn't close the deal, Michael Jordan. Didn't close it. Didn't give up some of that cash, baby.
Mike Jarvis, now known as the only man in America who has said no to Michael Jordan the last few years.
Wow.
Here's Heinrich. On the wing, Gregory. Looking to penetrate. He's got the entry for Chenoweth. And a sweet little jumper for Eric.
Great execution, stepping right into the gap. Good high-low entry, but did a great job stepping into the high foul line area and shooting the little jump shot.
Heinrich hounding Cook.
We documented and talked about last night the development of Chenoweth over the summer, working with Tim Gerkerich, an outstanding teacher, assistant coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Worked with Pete Newell, the guru of big man moves. Really dedicated himself to come back and made a commitment to have a big year.
Most improved player in practice, according to the Kansas coaches in the preseason. Jesse shakes loose from Boshi. He scores in the back door.
Well, you get the layup right there. Reminds me of last night in special situations, scoring on that baseline at the end of that game.
Boshi in trouble. Cook took it away. Straight ahead, Jesse. Missed by Willie Shaw.
Willie's got a jam that baby. A little showtime in the big city.
He could have had the crowd very involved early with that one. Collison, good look to Chenoweth. Did he travel?
Yes, he did. He lifted his foot. But I would keep attacking on the inside and get the ball into the interior to Eric Chenoweth.
4 Kansas turnovers in the first 3 minutes.
They're trying to hurry things. They're playing a little bit too quick.
Omar Cook, 6'1", 190 freshman. He is so strong.
Yeah, he really is very physical.
Really put together. Shaw. Look how quick Cuff is. Left-hander, yes, and a foul. Kyle Cuff with his second basket.
Oh, Cuff really a kid that can play the 4 as well as the 5. Playing in the middle right now.
Chenoweth with his first. 3 team fouls in the Jayhawks.
There's Kyle Cuff now coming across the lane. Protects and seals. Protects the basketball with the left hand because he's going against Chenoweth right there, and he knew that he had to utilize his left hand.
Cuff with 4 points and a couple of rebounds already. He had 9 points, 5 boards, and 3 steals against Kentucky yesterday. That's what I call 28 quality minutes. Heinrich, great look, Gregory!
I'll tell you, Gregory's got some great hops. He's up and away, the elevator man with a little Jam City. The Columbus Comet, Kenny Gregory, a slasher.
Former Ohio Play of the Year, all Big 12, second team as a junior last season.
Yeah, he battled on a high school level against Michael Redd, who went to Ohio State. Now sitting the Pine from Milwaukee, who I thought should have come back to college and improved his stock to be a first rounder.
St. John's by 3. Just over 3.5 minutes into the championship game. There's that look off the inbounds play, just like they victimized Kentucky last night.
Yeah, they really execute well off that baseline. And that play to beat Kentucky at the end of the game to Glover from Cook, it was really called by Omar. He was the coach in the huddle. He says, Coach, I know we can get this. And he said to Glover, I only want you to do one thing, catch the basketball.
Yeah, you better be ready when this kid's running the point. We saw last night some of the veteran St. John's players, they had the ball in their hands before they even knew what was happening. That's the sign of a great point guard.
Yeah, he's really got a feel for the game. I said last night, Howard Garfinkel said in 35 years at his camp, the 5-star, that he was the best passer. I mean, that's what really shocked me. His ability to make the three.
Well, last night he hit his first 5, and then he missed his last 6. So who knows what kind of streak we might see here. 10 for St. John's.
But the one thing you do know is you got to respect his perimeter game.
Heinrich for 3. High is up there was Gregory. Loose ball, running with it, Willie Shaw against Boshi, and he will make the right decision.
You know, he's a diaper dandy, Willie Shaw. The reputation as being a good shooter.
That time Cook well short. Cuff gets the long rebound. Heinrich was dueling out there with Reggie Jesse, and that may be too early on Kurt Heinrich.
Yeah, that would be big if Heinrich got himself in foul trouble.
4 minutes, 21 seconds in. We've got some good offensive things going on. And look at Gregory. He's a New York skyscraper.
The 2000 ACC Big Ten Challenge on ESPN and ESPN2.
Imagine connected color copiers for a last-minute pitch that wins.
Yes, Icon!
Now, this attorney can carry all the files for her biggest case ever in her pocket.
Yes! Icon!
Amazing. This printer will never outgrow his digital print equipment because it grows with his business.
Yes! Icon!
When it comes to communicating any kind of business information, imagine what Icon can do for you.
Recently, I've been urging you to remember our name, Expedia.com. By repeating our name over and over, 6 million happy travelers have logged on to Expedia.com, leaving millions of you still missing out. Perhaps the problem is my irritating British accent. So for those of you who still don't remember Expedia.com, here goes.
Book the right trip at the right price at Expedia.com.
Hope that helps. Don't just travel, travel right at Expedia.com.
Hey, love that smile. Love that smile. That's me. That's me. I like that. Hi. Well, welcome. Okay. Hi. Welcome to McDonald's. May I make your order? Crispy chicken made just for you. Big extra with cheese. Made hot, fresh, right to order. I see you. You're smiling.
We love to see you smile.
ACC won the first challenge last year 5-4. How about Illinois Duke? Carolina, Michigan State.
Wow.
Maryland, Wisconsin. Unbelievable matchups. The ACC Big Ten Challenge presented by 989 Sports.
I'll tell you, Jay and I are going to be up at that Illinois Duke, and then we take that journey for North Carolina, Michigan State. I can't wait to go down there for those games. You talk about dynamite matchups early in the season.
St. John's up by 6 early. They are looking so confident compared to their first few minutes last night.
Yeah, playing a lot more aggressive than I thought against this veteran Kansas team. Last night, Kansas came out of the gate really quick and got that big lead against UCLA. In fact, they had them down 22-6.
Evidently no inferiority complex about being the only unranked team in this field of 4.
I tell you, watch this club. A lot of teams thought they'd be in the middle of the pack in the Big East.
Omar Cook for Jesse.
They're going to get better and better, too, as they get experience with each other. Guys like Cook and Shaw.
Look at Glover pull his way in. Hangs, banks, can't score, but he draws a 2-shot foul. And you might notice number 0 for Kansas in the middle of your screen a moment ago. Drew Gooden, their freshman All-America of a year ago, now a 6'10", 230 sophomore, has checked in.
He played for the USA select team 20 and under.
You can't help but to notice when he checks in.
Well, he's a big-time offensive rebounder. I think he'll be the best ever at Kansas. And we talk about St. John's. They're playing without right now Jakite. They get Jakite in their lineup at 6'10", a shot blocker out with a broken bone in his hand. Mohammed could give him that rebounded dimension and move Cuff over to the 4 slot as well.
Evidently something on the floor over in front of the Kansas bench. Mark Carnes, the trainer, will go out and take care of things.
Those trainers got to work. Look at him scrub it. Look at him right there. He said, look, that's part of the trade. That's part of my job description. I got to scrub the floor. Look, Royce is right here. Now scrub it right there. Look, Roy with a smile on his face. Roy, the head of the rules committee, really feels, I think, at peace with himself with that decision as well. Now has locked himself in his ride Wanda up in Lawrence, Kansas, where he feels so comfortable.
I can't think of a student body in college basketball, maybe Duke, that loves their coach as much as Kansas loves Roy Williams right now.
Well, they love you as long as you keep posting W's, baby. Don't get those W's. You'll see how quickly they'll forget about that love affair.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but at Duke and Kansas, it goes way beyond that.
Yeah, it really does to a certain degree, Bob. But you got to remember, these guys are posting 28 W's every year. I want to ask how much love at 5 and 28. But it's not going to happen.
They're never going to have to worry about that.
Exactly. They're always going to have good-time recruits, great programs, great tradition, great fans. You're always going to be a solid top 20 basketball program.
Donald Emanuel, 6'8" junior center out of Houston, checks in.
He fouled
for St. John's, a face-up shooter. He's a guy who can stand up and step outside and shoot a little bit as well.
He blocked some shots, but he got himself in foul trouble quickly last night.
Number 1 is Mario Kinsey for Kansas, the freshman out of Waco, Texas.
Everybody feels he'll be a great quarterback who plays football.
Allison giving it up, trying to look for Gooden down on the baseline. And the Jayhawks now, a turnover.
Oh, what a look. What a look inside.
Cuff couldn't finish. Got a left-hander that wouldn't go. And there's Gooden. When he gets in there, that usually ends any debate over who's getting the rebound.
That was a great look by Cook. I mean, he just got that ball to the inside so quickly.
Kinsey would have had a layup, but he lost the handle. And here's Willie Shaw transitioning for the Red Storm. They lead by 7. Jesse shuffling the feet before the ball hit the floor.
Willie Shaw is a kid that came in with a big reputation out of Kennedy High School in the Bronx for shooting the basketball. But take a look at the look right there, right off the dribble. I mean, he had made that quick pass inside. Stephon Marbury used to do that. Kenny Anderson. That's feel for the game.
You made an interesting comment last night. Not only delivering the ball, but delivering it to the right people. And there's Collison with his first basket.
And they delivered it to the right guy right there. Collison so skilled on that baseline. He and his buddy, Gooden, are as good as a 1-2 sophomore combination on the baseline in America.
Well, Collison's dad, Dave, up in Iowa, 22 years a high school coach. He has been schooled very well.
Well, you know, Iowa's been good. The Kansas being given away from the French. Steve Wolford right now there. I don't think they're going to get in Iowa that easily.
Well, you know what happened? A couple of their guys, I mean, Heinrich was thinking about Iowa State. He had committed there, but then Tim Floyd left. Dr. Tom was retiring in Iowa City. So suddenly, with all those coaching shuffles taking place, some pretty good guys from that state headed down to the southwest to Kansas.
You talk about point guards. They got a great one up at Iowa State. Cyclones, Jamal Tinsley. You talk about a creator and an innovator. And you know it's got an outstanding team. You talk about the Big 12, and we don't hear them. Kelvin Sampson. The guy wins every year. And this year, with the strength in college basketball, the perimeter game, Oklahoma's perimeter game is going to be as good as almost anyone in the country.
Well, guess who's picked to finish second to Kansas in the Big 12? The Sooners.
Yeah, we shocked with Kelvin there.
And then they say Missouri. Then they can't agree. It's either Iowa State or Texas, 4 and 5. A lot of coaches had it flip-flop. And then Eddie Sutton's Cowboys out of Stillwater picked 6th in the Big 12 this year.
Well, they got a lot of new players, but they still got Eddie Sutton. That's look at that right there. Good special situation. A high lob up on top and a conversion.
They might call him Doc Gooden here in New York. Wow.
The Doc is in the house. The Doc is in the house.
He made a house call right there. Alpha Bangura, 15 for the Red Storm in there. Here's Cook looking on top for Reggie Jesse. Emmanuel with the jumper. There's that outside touch I talked about. He is 6'8" and stroking the 3 beautifully.
That's a big 3 from that perimeter by Emmanuel.
Collison, good look to Gooden. He didn't start the game, but we know he's around now.
I'll tell you one thing, he's going to finish the game.
14-10, Jayhawks have it back to 4. We are just over 7 minutes in.
They are so well drilled offensively in their sets when you look at Kansas.
Jesse off the hands of Abe Cada.
Yeah, Cater right there. He gives them a shot blocker in the middle. They're looking for him to block some shots. They're a lot bigger, St. John's. Mike Jarvis has not had the luxury to have size.
Boshi going right at that big Red Storm front line. Who did he draw the foul on? It looks like he got it on Alpha Bangura. That'll be his first.
Bangura transfer from out of Monmouth College, averaged 18 points a game there 2 years ago.
You know, Mike Jarvis, nobody's better in college basketball at working with international players. Keita from the Ivory Coast of Africa, Muhammad Jakite from Bamako, Africa, and of course when he was at G-Dub, the unbelievable international flavor that Mike Jarvis had on that club.
Ian Pagare, remember him in the middle for George Washington? George Washington's got a guard that lights it up. Sir Valiant Brown.
Yeah, he's something.
Oh, is he electrifying for Tom Hendricks?
And he's not too shy about jacking it up either.
Has not seen a shot he doesn't like. But Tom gives him the license, says, do it, Sir Valiant.
Here's Boshi. He misses the second one. Rebound Omar Cook, who did pull down 3 rebounds with his 5 assists and 18 points for the Red Storm last night.
Kinsey, a quality athlete, tremendous football player, and I think he's going to be special as a quarterback next year for Kansas. He'll challenge Cook.
Look at Cook take on everybody. His shot's an air ball, though, and Collison is there to rip it down.
He still has to learn. That's going to take time. Understand quality shots. Good entry.
Good. Strong enough to get the shot off despite taking the hit. They had Donald Emanuel down there collapsing on him. That ball got delivered down there in a hurry.
Hey, Bob, I'll tell you, they do a phenomenal job, Kansas, attacking the low blocks. They really post people up there exceptionally well. That's a tradition that was established years ago in the passing game by Dean Smith in North Carolina, and is certainly part of the offensive system at Kansas.
Roy Williams is looking down the court at the best offensive rebounder he's ever had. And that's saying something. Drew Gooden has 5. He averaged 8 rebounds as a freshman last year. He had 9 double-doubles when he was a freshman All-America. Chenoweth is back. And he also was honorable mention All Big 12 as a freshman. 9 double-doubles, 1 more than Danny Manning had in his freshman year. And the other stats right there with the good Kansas greats as well.
I'll tell you, some diaper dandies there when you talk about Danny Manning. Who can ever forget Danny and the Miracles as they won that national title in '88 with Larry Brown. They were 12-10 or 12-9 at one time.
He had 31 points and 18 rebounds in the championship game against Billy Tubbs' Oklahoma Sooners. 31 and 18. Wow. There's a travel on the step through by Sharif Fordham, who just checked in.
He's a versatile kid, Sharif. Transfer also, like Bangura, came from Eastern Michigan University, but they had a little guy named Mr. Boykins. Earl Boykins. You talk about a guy getting the most out of his talent, about 5'7".
Just over the 8-minute mark in. Chenoweth has to Sky to grab that pass. On top, Gooden. Back to Chenoweth. Little give and go for the big fellas. Eric turning, facing, scoring.
I'll tell you, he is really improved in terms of his mental toughness, his confidence. He wants the basketball. He's a lot more active on the inside. He is a factor in the lane.
Glover on top for Cook.
It's the zone, changing defenses by Roy.
Kansas on the big run now, an 8-point advantage during the run. They lead by 1. The miss, here it comes. Kinsey, look how quick he is. Can anybody stop him? He lost the handle. Gregory finds it.
I'll tell you one thing with Mario Kinsey. He's getting some playing time here early and will become part of their system in a rotation. But the reason he's getting playing time is because Luke Axtell is not here.
Heinrich goes to the table. Kansas sitting in a zone right now.
There's something about those special kids that are athletes like Kinsey.
Loose ball. Chenoweth had it. Goes down. Got it loose for Boshi. Kinsey takes a pop from Sharif Fordham. And some furious action will come to a stop here as we'll get our media timeout. 9 minutes and 12 seconds in. Look out. The doctor's in the house. It's Gooden.
Kickamus, Maximus, Buttimus, Madden 2001, now on PlayStation 2. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Rated E for everyone.
Oh.
Check this out.
I got it, Bob. But this will last you 2 years. Guaranteed.
Cool. Philips, light bulbs that last.
All the time.
And then she took it, and then she was like, no, boil it. Boil it first. Never in a million years have I ever done that.
I said we're going to see the Kansas offensive system and how they get excellent spacing and free their big guy. You take a freezer right here. See the spacing? Look at the spacing. They don't allow you to be able to get help defensively. They're 15 to 17 feet apart. And now they're going to post the big guys and freeze it. See right here. Now look, you draw help, but they're all spread apart. So you really have a tough time giving help. Now he's going to spin in the lane with a little jump shot. Watching the defense goes through, and now he spins in the lane, and there's the little jump shot. The great touch, Eric Chenoweth. Comes from California, and California has been big for Kansas. We talked about Jacques Vaughn and Rex Walters and Paul Pierce.
Well, they told Eric Chenoweth, hey, buddy, you've got a couple of $1 million sitting out there if you want to get in shape and do the job. And Jay Billis, he has done that so far.
Key for him has been his confidence. Dick mentioned it earlier. Last year, right after the Iowa game, he was taken out of the starting lineup, and Chenoweth felt that's when his coach had lost confidence in him, so he lost all his confidence. But this summer, working with former NBA player Bob Thornton, he got that confidence back, and he was trusting himself more.
Look at Drew Gooden step outside right in front of Jay Billis and knock down the three. That's 9 for Gooden, and he's got 9 points of the Kansas 12-point run right now.
He's a big-time inside-outside player. Jay's 100% right about that Iowa game. And I'll tell you something else that broke his confidence. He was really ripped big time by the local kids on the student newspaper. And that really crushed him, he said, to be able to read that and hear about it all the time. Not going to be able to rip him this year, I'll tell you. Got to be able to congratulate the fact that he came back to do his best to put himself in position to have a good year.
There's one of those little fouls we talked about earlier. Even when you're on offense, if you use your hands to gain an advantage this year, they're going to get you. And that's one of the points of emphasis this year, hand checking. And you don't have to be a defender to get called for it. Chenoweth very angrily goes to the bench.
And it is the only point of emphasis this year. So they're highlighting it.
We're going to see some 2.5-hour games this year. And I'm not talking about overtime either.
Wait. I know you do baseball. We don't want baseball. We don't want those 4-hour games, 4.5 hours, because I'm going to negotiate a new contract if we're doing that.
You got that right.
Are you kidding me? 4.5 hours? The one beauty of basketball, Brad said last night, 2 hours and you're done.
Anthony Glover to the line after Chenoweth's second foul.
Glover came in with a big-time reputation out of Rice High School.
New York State Player of the Year.
There's going to be some big battles in the Big East this year with Connecticut. Don't forget Connecticut. Jimmy Calhoun's team's got enough veterans when you talk about kids like Albert Boring who can shoot the ball, Edmund Saunders, and then you talk about their diaper dandies, Talik Brown and Karan Butler.
Jay Billis, your thoughts on the paint?
Well, I think the rules that they have in the points of emphasis on post play are really good, trying to cut down the physical nature of it. The problem is it's going to be a time of adjustment for big guys. And right now, Eric Chenoweth is going through that, having picked up his second foul. You've got to adjust to the way the game's being called. But because post play is inherently more physical than play out on the perimeter, it's just going to take them some time.
St. John's tried to sneak Glover to the line when it should be Kyle Cuff. Kyle 1 out of 5 at the line last night. Here's Gooden with the rebound. Heinrich back in there after 2 quick fouls early.
Well, they put an emphasis this year on rebounding Kansas, and Gooden certainly setting the table for his teammates.
Left side, Gregory way long with the 3.
Shot the ball so well last night.
Kenny was 11 of 18 last night. 2 out of 6 beyond the arc. Here's Glover looking to face. What a matchup with him and Gooden. And then as he ran right in to Jeff Carey, he traveled with it.
Yeah, Jeff Carey getting some playing time right here. Utilizing his size, coming in for Chenoweth.
Yeah, big body, a banger who can give Eric some minutes.
I like Kirk Heinrich. I think he's going to have a tremendous year this year.
8 Kansas turnovers now in the first 10.5 minutes. Heinrich on top for Kinsey.
You know, Bob, sometimes you need that one big game to give you the confidence, and I think he's built his confidence up from last year against Duke.
Little give and go, and Kinsey's return pass was taken away. And then evidently he reached around to get a foul. That'll be number 1 on Mario Kinsey, who passed for 2,003 yards and 25 touchdowns for La Vega High School in Waco last year.
Well, I think he's a lot like the kid that plays quarterback at Indiana.
Randall L.
Yes, and that's saying a lot because he's a tremendous player.
Kyle up to the line again.
Only problem is, in the Big 12, you got to hook up against Nebraska and Oklahoma.
How about Oklahoma and Texas A&M tomorrow?
Upset City. Upset City. Texas A&M at home. They're dynamite.
Well, I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'll take the Sooners. You take the Aggies.
Okay. I think my guy Brent Musburger's down here right now.
That's one of the toughest road games in America.
Oh, that's a tough place
College
to play.
Station, Kyle Field.
Bobby Stoops, certainly a guy that's going to get a lot of votes for National Coach of the Year. Has done an amazing job turning that program around at Oklahoma.
Yeah, he may have already won that award. Good ball, taking it right away from him. Here comes Omar against Heinrich. He can't foul it. Gooden the rejection.
Gooden says, hey, this is big-time college, Omar. Omar, I know you're super. I know you're a diaper dandy, but you're not scoring against me here. Watch the strip right now. There's the strip, and here comes the chef. Here comes the chef, the cook. Here he goes.
And he shoots at the baseline in there. Can't get it. Cook deflects. Heinrich. Gregory, beautifully done. How about the hustle of Nick Heinrich getting down the court?
Yeah, did a great job. Kansas, they play so well together, so unselfish. A reflection of the tradition and the trademark of Jayhawk basketball under Roy Williams.
Kenny Gregory with a half dozen, and there's a push in the baseline by Drew Gooden. That'll be his first.
See, the one thing I really believe that Omar will develop when the coaches, Mike Jarvis, his son who's on the staff, Thurman player, I believe they will convince him to utilize his great ability in attacking the basket. Attack, attack, attack. Rather than play on the perimeter, as you look at Mike Jarvis' son, is one of his lieutenants on that sideline. I think he has a tendency to want to think about shooting the jump shot to prove to people that he can shoot it. He doesn't have to prove it. Use your strength. He can beat most people off the dribble.
Mike Jarvis II, Boston U, class of '92, his 3rd year with Dad.
John Thompson's son now going to make his debut next Tuesday. We'll have him on ESPN.
How about his first game?
Oh, his first game. His daddy's first game was St. Francis Loretto in '72. His son's first game is the Dukies at Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Oh! Look at St. John's, little drought here. Red Storm, no field goals. Look at Mike Jarvis.
Right. We saw Cook play 38 minutes last night. Amazing. He had terrible leg cramps in the second half, and he still only missed 2 minutes.
He's a special talent. Special talent.
How about that? Carolina's first one. Matt Doherty only by 5 over Winthrop. Down from the left side it goes. That's Boshi.
They're starting to execute on all cylinders. He's got a new look up on top. He's got a new do. He got rid of that ball don't do. I couldn't find him yesterday, Jeff. He can flat out shoot the basketball. He and Heinrich are going to form a dynamite backcourt.
There's Glover. Look at Heinrich drop down to cut him off. Now it's Collison. The switch to the near side for Shaw. He wants to take Boshi baseline. Takes a little contact. And that'll be a 2-shot foul on Jeff Boshi. And each of the Kansas starting guards have 2 fouls.
And Willie Shaw is going to have to start to give them some points on the perimeter. He's very capable of doing such and will be a good player. They're very high on him. Roy Williams, certainly right now, when you talk about the great coaches in America, Roy's got to be mentioned right up there with all the superstars, the Krzyzewskis and the Nolan Richardsons and the John Cheneys. That's the one beauty of college basketball, the stability of the coaches. And I hate to see some of these guys starting to check out running for the NBA dollars. It was so great to see Jarvis stay and Tom Izzo stay up at Michigan State.
Well, we mentioned Bob Huggins earlier tonight.
Yeah.
He had overtures.
Well, he had to stay, though. You want to go down there with the Clippers? He'd have lost more games in 1 week than he lost in his 5 years.
Boshi, Collison, and a nice trip. Collapsing down there. Anthony Glover on the defensive play. And we're at 7:53 remaining before halftime. We're at the Garden. Jayhawks and the Red Storm.
November is Special Edition month at Blue Bonnet Motors. Come get the Lone Star Edition F-150 with automatic air, captain's chair, CD player, power windows and locks, tilt, cruise, and more. It's now zero down and just $279 a month. Or get 0.9% financing or a $1,000 rebate on our Hill Country Expedition XLT with this equipment. Apply your rebate and it's just $25,995. It's Special Edition month. Come see why.
At Blue Bonnet, prices are different.
With Roadrunner High-Speed Online, there's no question that channel surfing can be rewarding, especially when you play Roadrunner's Question of the Week contest. Here's how it works. From one of these 5 channels, Roadrunner asks the question of the week. Email the correct answer and you could win great prizes. It's as simple as that. Questions, anyone? Every week, only on Roadrunner. The fastest, smartest, easiest way to get around. Call Time Warner Cable today and get Roadrunner. Beep, beep.
A tale of suspense in Buffalo. The irresistible force of Dallas, Mike Modano and Brett Hull.
Modano in.
Against the immovable object of the Sabres, Dominic Hasek. Every game has a story. Stars, Sabres, Wednesday at 8 on ESPN.
Your 2-minute drill begins now.
Which head coach led Nebraska? Which Buccaneers fullback was
Which tennis phenom defeated
UNLV. Gordy Hop. Yes! Charles Oakley. Cy Young. Don Sutton. Florida.
ESPN's 2-minute drill. Have you got the answer? Mondays and Thursdays at 7.
Red Storm and Jayhawks each have their bands. There's a little battle of the bands during the timeout.
Why a little battle right here to my right. Help this autograph seeker out, Bobby C.
Well, how about some football for you? Big Ten, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois, and then to the SEC, Georgia, Auburn in prime time. What a triple header on ESPN tomorrow. And for more on college football, just log on to ESPN.com. You can find college football, college basketball, DickVitalOnline.com, anything you need to know this time of the year when these wonderful collegiate seasons overlap.
You know, Kansas on a 17-5 run. St. John's has 0 field goals in the last 5 minutes and 17 seconds.
Bryant Nash, a real raw talent athlete, number 15, has checked in for Roy Williams. They say he's a lot like Nick Bradford when he was a freshman. Unlimited potential if he can harness all that talent. Well, he's out there guarding Reggie Jesse.
Roy's trying to get some minutes early for guys like Nash and Kinsey to get them in their rotation. You want to be a deep basketball team. You never know what injuries. You want to have people ready to play.
Anthony Glover out on top now. And the shot missed by Omar Cook. Look at
pass for Cuff.
That'll be goaltending on Gooden. And Kyle Cuff will have 9 first-half points to tie Gooden for a game high.
And he has 5 rebounds as well. Cuff really effective on the inside. I think Omar Cook is trying to shoot the jump shot too much to satisfy people that he can make that perimeter shot and not utilizing his God-given talents, which is to attack the basket.
It takes a goaltend to break a 5-minute, 45-second St. John's field goal drought. There's Sharif Fordham at 6'4", skying quite a bit for that rebound. Here's Cook, not attacking, but probing.
I love him. I think he's got an unbelievable future. I really like everything about his game, and he's going to learn the other parts of the game to complete his game.
Good defensive switch by Gooden there. He's still on Jesse, who's drawing a double team every time as Bryant Nash comes down.
See, that's attacking.
Look at Cook.
That's what I'm talking about. Attack, attack, attack.
But he lost the handle.
Yeah, he lost the handle, but at least he attacked.
Heinrich to Nash, and he jams it in.
I'll tell you, they attack. Look at Nash out in transition.
Hey, Bryant Nash was a triple jump record holder at Turner High School, Carrollton, Texas there, just east of Dallas, so he can really hop.
He really hopped. He was flying through the air.
Kansas by 6 with 6:20 remaining.
See, what he's going to have to learn, too, is facing all the sophisticated defenses and the kind of speed of the major college game. And that's going to come with time.
Fordham, ill-advised 3. Glover slams it off the Jayhawk to keep it for the Red Storm. And got it off Nash.
And the one thing when you're a great penetrator and a guy that distributes the rock, you got to have people that can complete it by making that perimeter shot.
Jeff Wolfinger will check in.
He's skilled. He's got a lot of skills. He's got to get a little bit stronger physically. They'd like to see him get some minutes and earn those minutes.
6'11", 205 sophomore, very slim, didn't play last year. And in high school in Portland, Oregon, at Joel Barlow High School in Connecticut. He was a 23-point, 14-rebound per game guy. There he is handling it. He can see over people when they put him on the perimeter.
Yeah, he's a perimeter kind of player with his size.
Omar failed to catch it. Boshi cuts it in. Nice feed. Gregory finishes.
I'll tell you one thing. They are playing so well right now in this spurt. Really giving up the ball, filling lanes, playing together. They're going to love them in Rock Chalk Jayhawk land. They're going to have a heck of a year.
Kansas early exit last year. Second round Duke got him in Winston-Salem after they had beaten DePaul narrowly in overtime.
And they played Duke so tough in that game.
It was nice to see Pat Kennedy back in the tournament. There's a three for Omar Cook. He has a half dozen. That DePaul club's going to challenge Cincinnati in Conference USA this year. Look at Heinrich weaving. Gregory misses on the follow. Here comes Omar.
Here comes the magician.
He tries to angle it through, but a lot of traffic, and Heinrich picks it up.
Yeah, he telegraphed that pass.
Here's Gooden. Now suddenly the Hawks have 3-on-1.
Jayhawk basketball. Up and away. Slam jump back.
Here's Glover, a little out of control.
Game is really picking up the pace.
Back.
The pace is really picked up.
Boshi switching for Heinrich. Jayhawks on a run. Gooden. No. Crashing Gregory. Ball loose over the baseline. Who gets it? It'll stay with Kansas. Jayhawks by 7 with 4:41 remaining, and the Red Storm going to need a breather here shortly.
Well, the Jayhawks really very active on the inside. Spread the court really well in transition. Roy's got to be pleased. Got to be pleased with their execution. That's the nice look by Gooden. A little showtime in the big city. Hey, baby, up and away. Hanging on a rim, but they said to protect himself.
Yeah, he was up there on the chandelier.
There's Gooden. There's the lob, and there's Mr. Gregory. He's got some super hops.
Heinrich will throw it in. Gregory for Boshi. Heinrich, who, by the way, has not scored. This time it'll go back the other way. Heinrich looking over to the bench. He's a little gassed. He's going to signal that defense #1. Let's see what that is as the Jayhawks go back. Looks like they may sit in the 2-3 zone and wait for the Red Storm to shoot them out of it.
A lot of times they like to trap out of that 2-3 as well. Heinrich's doing what a point guard's supposed to do. Distribute the ball.
Ball rimming out on Willie Shaw. He has not scored from the field. Gregory to Gooden there, really pushing it, really pressuring St. John's. And the foul appears to be on Kyle Cuff.
They did that also to UCLA early in the game against UCLA, blowing out to that big 16-point lead. They were beating UCLA up the floor in transition, getting a lot of layups. And they're going to do that on you. If you relax a little bit, they run the ball up the court quickly.
At the line, Drew Gooden. 10 points now. He did not start the game. Checking back in, Donald Emanuel for St. John's. Last night, Drew Gooden played 31 minutes. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 16 from the field.
But he had a clutch offensive rebound late in the game. Really needed it big time in that game against UCLA. UCLA had that nice win in that first game today. UCLA and Kentucky in an overtime special. UCLA leads 1-1. Kentucky 0-2.
97-92, the Bruins won it. Here's Gregory after Collison fed him. Gregory just sort of leaning in. It'll be a blocking foul on St. John's. It'll be Jack Wolfinger with his first.
Omar struggling a little bit now. Sometimes it might be best to take a player out for a minute or two. Just let him relax and then put him back on the floor. But he's going through a sequence right now where he is struggling in terms of trying to find open people, trying to force things. Look at this here, St. John's right now, 9 turnovers. Wow.
And we thought they looked so confident early. Omar has 4 of those turnovers.
Well, they're meeting a very experienced basketball team, playing with a purpose, really challenged last year, very disappointed. If you talk to Roy Williams, most guys would have statues built for him to have the kind of season he had last year, but not under the standards of Roy Williams. So this team this year has really dedicated itself with a purpose in mind, and its purpose is not just to win 20 games and get in the NCAA tournament. Their standard is a lot higher.
And they've always been such a great shooting program. They shot 29% from three-point range in conference play last year. Here's an amazing thing. Kansas, total points last year, they were outscored by 4 when you lump the whole season together.
Wow.
I don't think that's ever happened there before.
And they got blitzed a couple of times, which didn't happen.
4 blowouts.
Yeah, when they got blown out, at least 4. You said
3 in conference play and 1 in non-conference. Cook. Wow. Way out there. Omar has 3 trays tonight.
I tell you, the one thing that's been definitely, look at this, they beat him down the floor again with Gooden.
And a foul.
They're not getting back quickly. See, in a way, Cook's got to get back, too, because he's the guy, after the score, has got to hustle back to the other end of the floor. But the one thing, the people had told us that he can't shoot the jump shot, they're out of their mind. And there is Mr. Gooden. I mean, this kid, you got to respect Cook's range as a shooter.
Abe Cada, 6'11" sophomore, checks back in for St. John's. I don't figure they need some size down there with Drew Gooden controlling.
Bob, I don't think there's going to be any doubt that you're going to talk about Omar Cook in the same breath as the guys that I talked about who are legends from out of New York City. Meaning Marbury and Washington Pearl and guys like Kenny Anderson. Just get them a feel for the game.
Drew Gooden with 13. 3:22 before halftime. The Jayhawks have something we just haven't seen in this tournament so far. What's this? A double-digit lead.
A coach is there for guidance. A coach is there to give hope. A coach is there with answers. That's what the American Cancer Society is for people who are battling cancer.
A coach in the most important game of all. Life.
Hope, progress, answers.
I want to ask you a question. Audrey, do you remember me ever getting sick?
I can't remember.
Don't you think that's kind of weird? Not remembering one cold, or a fever, or a sore throat? What do you think it means? I've come to believe a rather unbelievable possibility. Are you ready for the truth?
Unbreakable, rated PG-13. Coming this Thanksgiving.
We can expect in the coming months is Director of Product Development, Paul Noon.
Nice Got it.
Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, the wireless internet, with optical technology that makes it faster.
Overall, this has been an exciting
more
year.
reliable.
But the next few months will mark the beginning of a new Gesundheit.
Come together.
In fact, with technology changing
over me.
Kansas Jayhawks favored to win the Big 12. For the next couple of moments, you will see why. I would say those are some high percentage shots.
I think they're also highlight film shots. You're going to see some of those in their highlight film as you look at Kansas right now. 14 fast break opportunities and scores. I mean, they've just been converting in transition, and playing really well. Unselfish, moving the ball.
Here's another 14 for you. 14 field goals, 14 assists.
Wow. They're looking for one another, and they get good ball movement and good player movement. When you have motion and you have movement, you're going to get good shots. There they are now zoning.
What'll St. John's do to stop this Kansas clinic? Omar Cook short. Heinrich lost it. He was trying to outlet while he was still in the air.
See, I think Omar is going exclusively to that jump shot.
Little mid-range jumper won't go, and then underneath the basket for Anthony Glover, and that gives him 5 on the night.
Yeah, Glover just gets people out of the way. He clears them out of the way. Good tipping.
Turnaround. It goes for him, and Drew has 15 here in the first half.
You better be able to play good post defense against Kansas. If you can't play post defense and beat them to spots and beat them to the basketball and deny them the ball inside, they're going to have a field day with Gooden, Collison, and Chenoweth.
2.5 to go first half. Kansas by 10. Cook.
Nice pass.
What a look.
I mean, that's just great ability right there. I mean, that's a big-time play. You can't teach what he just did right there, driving that bounce pass diagonally. I love him. I'll tell you one thing. Omar, to me, is going to be special.
Glover on the receiving end of that beauty.
Watch this. Watch this. There's a nice dish right there. Got to score.
Does. Takes a hit from Kinsey.
Nothing fancy. Just made the routine. It's like, give me a little love. Give me a little love. Yes, sir. I love that. As the chef cooking up some stew. Here he goes. Here goes the cook. Kicking it out.
I love that replay. Did you see that, Dick? He was looking right into the eyes of the defender.
Yes, sir. There's the score. I mean, you got to like playing with a guy like this, because if you get free, you're going to get the ball. Look at that previous pass. Look at that drop down, that baseline. Unbelievable drive and a bounce pass inside. Hey, Jay, I want to ask you this, Jay. Having played at Duke in that great program, if you don't play post defense against Kansas, you're in trouble with their way they run their offensive game.
That's exactly right, Dick. And you've really got to get back in transition, because Kansas's big guys do a great job of running the court. And they also establish the early post. And they run right down the center of the floor and get right into the middle of the lane. If they don't get it right away, then they get out. They don't run to the low block. They run to get position in the paint, and they're very effective doing it.
Yeah, they really do a great job in their motion game. I love the team when they had Jared Haas, who's now on their staff, with Jock Vaughn and company, and LaFrance. That gang executed so well and had that heartbreaking loss in the tournament when they were beaten by Arizona, who would be 3 #1 seeds on the way to winning the national title in '97. North Carolina, Kentucky, and Kansas.
Mario Kinsey's first point of the night.
I'll tell you, Kinsey's come up big for them. So has Nash. They've gotten positive minutes out of these kids, and I didn't think they were going to get these kind of minutes this early in the year.
Jayhawks by 8. 2 minutes to go before halftime. Cook for Jesse, deflected. Queta up trying to grab it. Loose ball for Kinsey. Straight ahead. Gregory hanging, scoring.
Unbelievable body control. I mean, the balance and the agility and the unbelievable body control by Mr. Gregory right there.
On a night when the guards aren't scoring, Gooden and Gregory combining for 29 of the Kansas 43.
You know, Bob, you can run all the drills you want. You can't teach what Mr. Gregory just did.
Yeah, that's when instinct kicks in, and it doesn't even take that long. It's just there.
Exactly.
Willie Shaw in the corner on top. Glover putting it on the floor, taking on Heinrich. Tough shot, banks it in.
I'll tell you, I think Glover could be one great defensive tight end, defensive end.
Only his second year in basketball, really, at the college level after not playing as a freshman. And then Kansas a foul after giving it up. Our Courtyard by Marriott halftime report is coming up. John Anderson will have highlights from our overtime thriller with the Cats and the Bruins earlier. And Matt Doherty, the former Tar Heel, back in Chapel Hill, and he makes his debut. And Digger Phelps will join John for our halftime report.
Hey, you know, the former Tar Heel, but also former assistant coach at Kansas, where they loved him when he was on that staff. We talked about it last night. They have produced so many outstanding head coaches now. Kevin Stallings down at Vanderbilt. Jerry Green with that great team right now at Tennessee, where there's all kinds of expectations.
Steve Robinson,
yeah,
Florida State.
Steve Robinson as well. They've had some outstanding guys on their staff. And
Abe Queta with the miss.
Neil Doherty, I think, is really ready for a job.
That was Jeff Carey, who came back in 22.
And, you know, as you said earlier, they're playing without Luke Axtell. And Axtell, if he's as good as been advertised the way he's played in the preseason, he's going to be a big plus in joining that rotation.
Gooden easily clearing the miss.
Axtell played in high school with Chris Mim of Texas. I thought Mim should have come back. And his stock, he went all the way down to the 8th pick. He'd have come back in school. He would have been a number 1, 2, or 3 pick. And Texas would have been dynamite this year.
Heinrich hanging and scoring. And Kirk Heinrich gets his first basket. KU's largest lead matched as they're up by 10 in the final 50 seconds now.
St. John's having a tough time defensively against Kansas.
Glover. Look at Heinrich up there. Then the loose ball came out for Carey. Shovel underneath Queta. Carey stripped him, or rather Heinrich. Glover keeps it alive. And we'll credit that to Anthony Glover, who now has 11. He is so active.
And we saw right there another example of Cook attacking the basket, dribble penetration, attacking, and he created an opportunity on the inside.
Roy Williams calls a timeout, first by either coach. Hawks by 8.
Imagine Connected color copiers for a last-minute pitch that wins.
Yes, Icon!
Now, this attorney can carry all the files for her biggest case ever in her pocket.
Yes! Icon!
Amazing. This printer will never outgrow his digital print equipment because it grows with his business.
Yes! Icon!
When it comes to communicating any kind of business information, imagine what Icon can do for you.
The election is over. All the posters torn down, all the concession speeches made. Except for ours, because the Las Vegas Freedom Party concedes nothing, 0% with a margin of error of 3%. I don't even know what that means, but we are not giving up. The Las Vegas Freedom Party is alive as ever, and it's going on here where you can do what you want, when you want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we will not rest until our message of freedom is heard.
Go back to sleep. Morning. Good morning.
Where is she? Your mom will be here in a minute.
Mommy! Hi, sweetie.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
At McDonald's, we make breakfast hot, fresh, right to order. See you on your way to work or on your way home.
We love to see you smile.
Wonderful event for a great cause here in New York City. Jayhawks with a commanding lead, and earlier Icon Office Solutions presented a check for $475,000 to the American Cancer Society and the NABC to help fight cancer. And now over the years, this classic has raised over $1.3 million for cancer research.
I think that's just absolutely fantastic.
Well, Dick, none of us, I don't know anybody whose life, at least with loved ones or friends, has not been touched by that disease in the last few decades.
No doubt about it. You talk about a courageous guy, the former Cornell coach, Scott Thompson, who worked on Diggerstaff at one time, successfully now beating cancer. We talked about our buddy Larry Conley was beating it.
Jimmy V. The list goes on and on of wonderful people who've departed us way too early. Nash trying to stay away from that midcourt line. Boy, look at the Redmen getting after the Jayhawks here. And that almost caused a turnover. It'll stay with Kansas. 5 on the game clock here at the end of the first half. Kansas looking for a quick hit here. Gregory, dribble penetration, hanging, fade away. Ooh, it almost went for him. And it'll be the Jayhawks by 8 at the half, as Kenny Gregory almost dropped a beauty right there.
I'll tell you, they really executed so well on the offensive end. Gooden certainly was a star of stars. Didn't start the game, but we can be guaranteed he'll be on the court at winning time and finish the game. He played really well, and so did their entire club defensively. On the other side, St. John's certainly was hanging right around, and only down 8. I mean, you know, today's game, 8 points is not a big deficit to overcome.
With Mike Jarvis, here's Jay Billis.
Thanks, Bob. Mike, your kids played so hard, but it looked like a little bit of offensive impatience really put a lot of pressure on your defense.
Well, you know what? We were impatient at times when we shouldn't have been, and what we got to do is they're playing a, rather soft zone, and we've got to attack it. I mean, we got to be aggressive with the dribble as well as with the pass, and we haven't been.
Still plenty of time for a young team. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Jay Billis. And at the half, it's Kansas by 8. John Anderson, the Red Storm looked confident early, but KU much stronger so far. Then the experience of Kansas took over, and even though it's here in November, they're running their stuff pretty well.
Well, you talk about their stuff, their execution, their offensive efficiency has been superb. They've done a great job with ball movement and spacing, which is so important in their offensive system. Right here, look how far. Look at the great spacing they get from one another. You can't give help when you have that kind of spacing. The defense cannot give help to close off angles, and there they get good and inside, one-on-one, great entry. They try to force you to play them one-on-one, and then they have their slashing cuts. They do a great job in terms of executing offensively.
Jayhawks defense shooting St. John's, forcing St. John's to shoot rather poorly. In the ball game last night, the Jayhawks shot 55% in beating UCLA.
Shooting 63% right now, really getting high percentage shots. Good help defensively right there by Heinrich.
Red Storm with possession. Cook with Heinrich all over him. He thought about the three. Now he dribbles and creates the shot. A little bit short with it. Eric Chenoweth pulls down. Only his second rebound of the night. He made a little stop by our table during halftime. He's not happy about these chippy little fouls he thinks are getting called. And now he gets called for a travel.
Yeah, he looked at me. He's like, Dickie V, help me out. They're calling chippy fouls. They don't see me. I didn't put the rule in effect.
Go talk to your coach.
His coach is the head of the rules committee. Don't see me wrong. Your players worried about fouls.
Yeah, go talk to the judge.
He's the judge, jury, and the whole thing when you talk about Kansas basketball. Judge Williams.
On the perimeter. Willie Shaw on top. Omar Cook, who in the first half had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers.
He created an opportunity right there, but they don't convert with the 15-foot jump shot.
Shaw, tough shot. Gregory, the Kansas rebound. And for Kenny Gregory, that is his 5th board of the night to go with his 14 points.
Look at that ball movement. They try to swing the ball side to side. There are a lot of people on the floor that can make shots. St. John's going to have to make shots to get back in this game.
Chenoweth look in the face. He likes that shot. We saw him score on it in the first half. And let's get some early second half impressions from Jay Billis.
Well, Bob, St. John's talked at halftime about trying to be as efficient as Kansas has been on the offensive end. St. John's needs to make more passes to try to attack that soft zone that Kansas has been putting up. That's Kansas's point zone. And it's really been a turnover fest for St. John's, not only turning the ball over, but taking some bad shots, which are really just as bad as turnovers.
I'll tell you, I had a chance to be visited at halftime by DeJuan Wagner, a super high school player out of Camden, New Jersey. Jim O'Connell was over with me from the Associated Press, and we were talking. I was telling him stay in school, make sure he's going out to Memphis, but I don't want to get Calipari nervous. But I saw him talking to the St. John's delegation, and I think you're in trouble, Calipari. I think he wants to play with Omar in the backcourt, and it's going to be over. He's going to call you up tonight and say it's over. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. He told me he's excited about going down to Memphis. But we were talking, and he said he agreed with the fact that he has played against Omar Cook, and he said he could really attack the basket more than he's doing.
Rebound for Kansas by Nick Collison, putting it down.
Collison's been quiet, and we know what a good player he is on that baseline. Look at a nice entry. They're going to push on Chenoweth, I believe.
Unless Cuff got him before that happened, it looks like they're going to call it on Kyle Cuff.
Yeah, Reggie Greenwood with the call inside.
And for Kyle Cuff, that'll be his 3rd.
What talent coming on. That's the beauty of college basketball. Next year we'll be talking about DeJuan Wagner.
Boshi flashing.
Nice play.
He got some nice little service from Kenny Gregory. And for Jeff Boshi, he's got 6 tonight. Kansas now up to its biggest lead.
Well, nice little clear out for Boshi. Got that clear out. Good execution. Got himself a simple layup.
Omar Cook hooking it down. Cuff turning the face on Chenoweth. There's a little contact there. Eric Chenoweth will get his 3rd.
He's having a tough time making that adjustment to the rules this year, shaking his head. They didn't call those last year. They didn't call those. Boy's going to make a decision. I think to leave him on the floor for a few minutes. No, he's going to the bench. He's going to go to the bench. Now he looks down. He's not going to leave him on there.
Glover back to Cook. Heinrich on the defense. Cook blows by him and finishes. There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. He can beat people. The kid is absolutely super.
And then if nobody rotates over quickly enough down low, he's gone.
Oh, he'll find the open man if you come over and give help on it. I mean, that was just an unbelievable move to the basket. Just explode into the goal.
Heinrich escapes Cook to receive the inbounds pass.
I was talking to Len Robbins, the outstanding writer, New York Post, about it. He covers St. John's, and he feels the same way as they go down inside to, was that Collison scoring
down
deep?
Yes, it was.
I'll tell you, they get Collison, Gooden, and Chenoweth down inside deep.
Here's Cook looking to beat his man
There he is again. He created that opportunity with the little penetration.
Got it off to Willie Shaw.
We know you can shoot now, Omar. You've proven that in the first 2 games. We know that report about you not being able to shoot. You have put that to be a myth. We know you can shoot. Just use your ability. Now look at the penetration. Look at him split the defense. Now he takes it up. No one rotates over. And look at a strong body taking the ball to the goal. Omar Cook, yes, the chef, will be a sensation.
At the line, Willie Shaw for St. John's. Red Storm went 25-8 last year, third in the Big East, Eastern Division with a record of 12-4. Beat Northern Arizona. Then those Gonzaga guys got him in the NCAA second round after they had won the Big East tournament.
Yeah, Mark Few's club was ready in that game, played brilliantly. But, you know, you look at St. John's last year, had a great year, a solid backcourt with Barkley and certainly Thornton. And Mike Jarvis in his first year, phenomenal run, went to the Final 8, got beat by Ohio State, who marched on. Jimmy O'Brien took his club to the Final 4. That good backcourt, a Skinny Penn and Michael Redd.
They had beaten Indiana and Maryland to make it that far.
Wow.
There's a good look down low. Boshi getting it down, and the turnaround. Suddenly, Nick Collison decides to knock down a few.
They got so many options. They could go to Collison, who's so skilled. I know Jay Billis loves him. We were talking about him yesterday. He's so skilled. He played on the USA select team against the Dream Team.
Good look, back door, and that was a very nice pass from Reggie Jesse, or rather, Cuff from Jesse, and that's 11 for Kyle Cuff.
Well, you know, you got to look at St. John's. They're starting 3 diaper dandies with Cuff, Shaw, and certainly Cook. That's a young basketball team, and to play quality programs like Kansas this early and Kentucky is really, I think, a great way to learn.
Heinrich coming back down with it. Boshi ducking his way in, and he was grabbed. You know, Dick, I thought maybe I'd ask you and Jay about this. One of the toughest things.
Don't be tough on me now.
You've got a young team. How difficult is it for a Mike Jarvis to tell them, you know, you guys saying they have to attack and they got to do this and do that. How do you tell a young team that because they get so impatient?
Yeah, they get impatient and they revert a lot of times back to what they did on a scholastic level, which was only a few months ago. But they got to learn now, and the way they're going to learn is by doing things that they work on and practice every day to really adjust to this level of competition.
Jay Billis, what did Coach K do when you guys were youngsters?
Well, I think it comes down to decisions, and that's what's so important in college basketball is your decision-making ability. And for St. John's, they've got to make some passes first and make that defense move. Then they can attack. What they're trying to do is attack initially, and they're playing a lot of 1-on-3, 1-on-4, and that's not good enough, even when you're as talented as a kid like Omar Cook.
And especially, Jay, against a team as talented as Kansas.
I think you play right into their hands, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. But Mike Jarvis has been around, knows a little bit about winning, and believe me, these kids are going to get better and better as the season progresses.
There's a grab underneath by Nick Collison. That'll be his third. 4:09 out of halftime. Jayhawks by 11.
The 2000 ACC Big Ten Challenge on ESPN and ESPN2.
Showtime. The critics are shouting. Little Nicky is the movie event of the holiday season.
Who's Batman, Mommy? I don't know. He sure is butt ugly.
It's Adam Sandler's funniest film ever.
Release the gun.
It'd be a mortal sin to miss Little Nicky.
Stay off that throne. Even in hell, I get no respect.
Little Nicky.
Yes. I mean, woof, woof.
Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Kickamus, Maximus, Buttimus, Madden 2001, now on PlayStation 2. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Rated E for everyone.
We can expect in the coming months is Director of Product Development, Paul Noon.
Got it. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, the wireless internet, with optical technology that makes it faster.
Overall, this has been an exciting
and more
year.
reliable.
But the next few months will mark the beginning of a new Gesundheit.
Come together.
In fact, with technology changing
Over me.
Hey, way back in 52, Kansas, St. John's, the NCAA title game. How about Clyde Lovellette? 33 points.
Watch the hook shot. Look at the hook shot. We don't see that hook shot anymore. Clyde Lovellette, the All-American.
And the Jayhawks beat Frank McGuire's Redmen. His 33 in both the semi and the finals earned him MVP honors for the 52 tournament. And the Jayhawks have just had a wonderful, wonderful history. Larry Brown got the other one in '88 with Danny Manning and company. Number 3 in wins behind Kentucky and North Carolina. Rock, chalk, Jayhawks.
And in Carolina, we've got another win tonight over Winthrop in a little tough game for an opener for North Carolina, winning by 5.
But there's no place in America more fun to go to watch college basketball than Allen Fieldhouse. It's right up there with Cameron and all the other great ones. Here's Cook. Omar knocks down the 3 out of the timeout. He has 14 on the night. So in his first 2 collegiate games, he's averaging 16 a game.
So he's certainly eradicated that view that he can't make the perimeter shot. I like St. John's uniforms. Nice. Trim. Hey, I can't find Louis Carnesecca. I've been looking all over for 2 nights. I know he's got to be in an Italian restaurant somewhere. Well, why isn't he here? Where's my guy Louis? I want to find Louis.
24 years, 526 wins. He won 20 18 times. And Dick, it was a little tougher to win 20 then than it is now.
Oh, no doubt about it. Hall of Famer, just great personality. So contagious around everybody in the program and just loved. I mean, you talk about having a passion for the university, a real unbelievable passion for St. John's. Beautiful people, just a beautiful, beautiful guy.
And of course, you go all the way back to Joe Lapchick, who coached this program mid-30s to the late 40s. He won 334 games here. They have a wonderful holiday tournament here named after the chief.
And they usually get 2 wins. This little Cupcake City, post those 2 quick W's. I'll tell you, it's not like right here playing in the Coaches versus Cancer tournament.
Joe Lapchick won 4 NITs when it was considered equal to the NCAA or even better.
That's good at working on that baseline. You talk about St. John's. I remember that the McGuire brothers, Dick and Al, and certainly McIlvray and McMahon and Zawalik. So you don't remember those? Zeke Zawalik.
You were across the river growing up and listening and reading about those teams. Oh, what a nice move by Nick Collison. 6 of his 8 here in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Superb. An unbelievable, superb post move inside. Luke Axtell's going to add so much to that club. What a weapon they get. Luke, they really, really miss you and want you in that lineup.
Well, there's Cook forcing the 3. Heinrich to Boshi, gambling Cook. Boshi the pull-up. He's got a deuce.
He can shoot.
Jeff Boshi has 8 on the night.
He's got a great jump shot.
Kansas by 12. 5.5 minutes out at halftime.
Back in that matchup zone.
Mike Jarvis wants a timeout. It'll be a 30 coming here at the 14:27 mark. And Kansas on top by 12. We got a pair of college football games for you Saturday. ESPN2, Pitt, Miami. How about the Hurricanes? Many feel they're on a collision course for the national championship. And then it's Colorado State and Air Force. And folks, at 6 o'clock, you will see some serious high-flying footballs. Whenever you get into that league, the Mountain West, the old whack out there, they love to throw that thing all over the place. ESPN2 with a double dip on Saturday.
I'll tell you, Air Force had a great chance for a bowl. They had Notre Dame beaten, I can tell you that. Unbelievable. The miracle down there in South Bend to block that kick at the end of that game. You got to join me tomorrow. I can't wait to go to the Swamp and see Florida and South Carolina. Spurrier and Holtz hook up. I'll be there.
I got hoops.
I'll get you tickets. I'll get you tickets. I know some key people down there. And then Sunday, I'm going to go see Warren Sapp and company put the hurt on Brett Favre and watch my guy Keyshawn. He's starting to go to him now.
Are you a Buck season ticket holder?
Oh, without a doubt. I got Buck season tickets, Florida season tickets. Look at a steal here.
There's Fordham stealing it. Reggie Jesse will take it off the glass. And that's what the Red Storm needs occasionally to go along with their patience. And now they get it back to 10. They're going to get it down to single figures and then work from there.
See, I think they can be a very good pressing basketball team. And you look at the versatility they really feel that Sharif brings to the table. And Reggie Jesse's got to step up. Yes, I am a season ticket holder there, and as well as at Notre Dame.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're not sneaking your way in.
And I pay for all my tickets.
Jesse will limp off the floor.
We're going to see right now the deflection. There comes the trap. The trap, they pop the ball. They get a little deuce out of it. So I think they're going to be a good pressing team, especially when they get the big kid back, Mohammed, to block shots.
Heinrich short on the 3. And here come the Red Storm. Now they've got that opportunity we were talking about to get it down to 8, maybe 7.
They're really high on Jakite. They think he's going to be special.
There's Cook, the kick for Fordham. Not even close.
I'll tell you, you give Cook a couple of guys that could really drill the wing jump shots, and you'd see his assist totals.
Boshi open. 3 rims out on him. Collison went crashing. Gregory for Heinrich. Boshi beyond the NBA line, and he missed it by plenty. We've got Gregory and Bangura banging down there, and it looks like it'll go against the Red Storm sophomore from Landover, Maryland.
Yeah, it looks like Bangura was banging, because I'll tell you one thing, Gregory is so active. He plays so hard. What I like about Kenny Gregory, he gives you everything he has, all the perspiration, all the sweat. When he goes in the locker room at the end of the game, there is nothing left. See, players can control. You can't control sometimes the scoreboard. A lot of times that's controlled by speed and quickness, but you can control your energy, your enthusiasm, and your effort.
The Boshi fumbles that ball right to his coach. Roy Williams.
He wants to see the killer punch. He wants to see the knockout punch. He doesn't want him to hang around. He saw the miracle last night. St. John's was able to hang around, and the Johnnies were able to pull it out.
13 long minutes to go in the championship of the Coaches versus Cancer Icon Classic. UCLA in overtime got Kentucky by 5 in the consolation game. That ball will roll in. Was that Alpha Bangura?
Yeah, that was
his first field goal of the night.
That's Bangura's first deuce. Good steal by Bangura. Good help defensively.
Then a kick out of bounds, and Kansas will have it.
They don't want to go away, St. John's. They did the same thing last night. They got some tough, competitive kids. These kids are from the inner city, a lot of them, and they've been playing on the playgrounds all their life, and they're not going to back down from anyone.
Gregory out to Boshi. Gooden flashes out.
Collison. Watch Collison inside.
Top of your screen. Here's Gregory. They got him isolated one-on-one. He banks it right in over Bangura. And Kenny Gregory has his first basket of the second half. He has 16 on the night, 24 last night.
Well, he's an excellent transition player and certainly a good post player for a wing player. He can get a lot of mismatches inside because of his jumping ability and quickness, and he really can exploit people down there on that low box.
Reggie Jesse, the report comes, he has a bruised left heel. Bangura for Omar Cook. Boshi looking at him. Oh my! That went through the legs of Collison and out of bounds, but evidently grazed his shorts on the way by.
I have no idea where he was throwing that one. I have no idea where he was trying to drill that baby.
Nobody was running the baseline to receive it.
He was anticipating someone coming through. He's the director. I'll tell you, you wouldn't think the kid's a diaper daddy. I mean, he's in total control. Mike Jarvis wasn't kidding when he said, I'm giving him the ball, and it's his show.
Well, 38 minutes last night. There's Bangura for 3. Way out there. Way up there. And it's Glover missing. Finally pulled down by Collison of Kansas. Saved by Gooden, not quite. He stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
And that's exactly where the miracle play happened last night to give him that chance to win that game.
8-10 out of halftime. Williams Hawks by 10.
Announcing a breakthrough in pizza technology. A pizza inside a pizza. To demonstrate how much we can pack inside Pizza Hut's new Insider, we're going to take these 4 giant sumos and pack them inside this photo booth. How cozy. How do we get it all in?
Well, we took one thin crust with 6 cheeses, sealed it with another crust, and even more cheese. And that's the amazing new Insider Pizza, all for just $9.99.
Say cheese.
The Insider Pizza from Pizza Hut. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Business owners today move at a frantic pace. You need to stay ahead of the competition. Manage growth. Balance cash flow. Preserve relationships. Plan for the future. The sky's the limit. At Zurich Financial Services Group, we create innovative solutions for insurance, financial protection, and asset management. Your aspirations, our passion.
If I could see my clients every day, not only could I keep track of their love lives.
This girl, Nancy, she's beautiful, she's smart.
I'd guarantee they'd never see another flake of dandruff. But since I can't see them every day, I tell them, use Head & Shoulders every time they shampoo. Because daily use keeps their scalp in healthy condition, so flakes don't even stand a chance. And Head & Shoulders leaves hair beautiful.
Looks great.
Nancy's gonna love it. It's daily care for beautiful, flake-free hair.
Mike Jarvis, an alum of Northeastern University, great teacher, great coach, but the psychology of coaching really comes into play as well.
We're going to ask a lot of these guys, and my belief is that if you ask people and you challenge them and you make the goals maybe even a little bit higher than what they might normally think that they can achieve, you know, anything can be done.
Well, they proved that last night. Do they have another one in them against a very good Kansas club?
Well, to beat this Kansas team tonight, they're going to start really having to convert some shots and find some people that can make some wing jump shots. They got to be careful that Kansas doesn't go on a spurt and blow it right open. Up 10 right now. They're capable of going on a 10-1 spurt.
Great crowd tonight. A lot of Johnny fans here. The lower bowl here at the Garden just about full. On the wing, Alpha Bangura. He goes back on top. Omar Cook for Emmanuel.
There's a matchup zone. Trying to match up on the wings and up on top on Cook.
Now the reverse to the other side. Sharif Fordham. Shot clock at 10. Glover doubled in the corner. Emmanuel, Fordham. Everybody touching it. Haven't had a shot yet. Finally, with good patience, Bangura banks it in.
Well, good job of executing, getting a lot of ball movement.
Boshi for three. Short. Gregory keeps it alive, puts it on his back. Good hanging. It goes down.
I'll tell you,
Drew Gooden has 17.
Yeah, doing what he does best, getting on the offensive glass, coming up with that second opportunity for his club. From out of California, going to have a big, big year this year.
Richmond, California, El Cerrito High School, an All-American there. Averaged a double-double every time out. Here's Bangura with a jump stop. Rebound, Collison is outlet. He threw it away.
Well, great hustle. Great hustle, hoping to get hurt. Mario Kinsey, a football player, a rollout quarterback. Roy says, I like that effort. I like that effort. He salutes him. I tell you, California, look at the players that have come out of California. How would you put a club from that team? Look at those guys. Paul Pierce, was he special? I mean, a big-time performer. You got to like the toughness of Rex Walters, and Jock Vaughn is one of my favorite point guards on the collegiate level that I ever witnessed. I'm talking strictly college. He had everything you wanted. Great basketball IQ, an understanding how to win, and great defensive ability.
Every time I see Jared Hass's name, I think about guys diving on the floor like Kinsey just did. There's Gregory losing it. Here come the Red Storm. Fordham thought about pulling up, but Gooden made him think otherwise. Bangura looking to face. Collison in front of him. Every time somebody gets the ball, it seems like two Jayhawks are there.
Well, you know, Bob, they're doing a great job trying to keep the ball out of Cook's hands.
Fordham banks, tough shot. Glover had the rebound. Fordham up again, rejected by Collison. Then he catches his own block. Now the Jayhawks have a 3-on-2. All the way unable to score because of an Emmanuel foul is the speedy Mario Kinsey.
I tell you, he must be a blur in terms of football when he starts to roll out with that pigskin. I was teasing him. I said, come on, now you're playing the right sport. Stay away from that pigskin. Stay away from that helmet.
Well, you talk to football players who play other sports, and they tell you they miss that contact. They love that stuff.
Well, Julius Peppers down here in North Carolina, Ron Curry. Outstanding rollout quarterback who they're hoping could contribute this year at the point guard slot from North Carolina. One of the real areas they're concerned about.
Mario Kinsey, 3 free throws tonight for all of his points. Returning for the Red Storm, you saw Kyle Cuff. He will be joined by Willie Shaw.
Yeah, Willie can stroke the basketball. I was watching him during the warm-ups. I mean, he's got a nice stroke, nice follow-through. He's just got to get some confidence, and that comes with winning, and it comes from performing. It's pretty tough to step out of a high school uniform into a college uniform, and your first 2 games are Kentucky and Kansas.
Jayhawks by 12 as we run down to the 9.5-minute mark of the championship game. Fordham from Cook. Shaw from the corner. They've got to get that from somebody, and Willie's got 7 off the bench tonight. A freshman out of JFK in the Bronx.
Well, that's the reputation that he has, the ability to shoot that jump shot, plus some good quickness as well. I think ultimately you're going to see these 2 guys really put on some big numbers, Cook and Shaw.
Foul number 3 on Sharif Fordham.
See, a jump shot like that could give a kid such a lift.
Stepping to the line will be Kurt Heinrich out of Sioux City.
See, Kansas done a great job. Look at the pain on Mike Jarvis's face. They've done a great job fighting the crowd. They've kept the crowd really silent, basically, other than early in the game where St. John's had that spark initially.
Eric Chenoweth back, and Nick Collison has the whole bench stand up for him.
I tell you, life's not going to be easy, though, for Mr. Collison and company in the Big 12. We were talking about Oklahoma and their backcourt. When you look at J.R. Raymond and you think of kids Nolan Johnson and Hollis Price, and I'll tell you one thing, Kelvin Sampson's club is going to be tough for people. And then down at Oklahoma State, Maurice Baker and Victor Williams and company. And at Texas, you talk about an impact player. You watch the transfer from out of Wichita State. He can flat out play, Maurice Evans.
Heinrich, 4 on the night. Not a big scoring night for the Kansas Guards, but they're really spreading things around and playing good, tough defense.
And it will not be easy going up to Ames. I know they lost Pfizer, but it will not be easy going up there facing Mr. Tinsley and company.
Glover rolls it around and in. 13 for Anthony Glover tonight.
Stepped right in that gap area of the zone and shot that little jump shot, a little half-court trap. I think it's a good decision. Go out, trap, press a little bit.
You know, when you look at the last 7 or 8 minutes, St. John's has played Kansas perfectly even. Here's Glover, comes away with it. 2-on-2, he's against Heinrich. Turning, kicking, shooting is Cook. Missing is Cook. Kept alive by Shaw. And it'll be Gregory bringing it out for the Jayhawks.
That would have been big. Would have got it down to 6. Good play by Glover, penetrating inside, kicking it back out to his partner, the sidekick, who normally is kicking the ball into him. St. John's now zoning.
Gregory down to Gooden.
I think a very tough club to zone.
Gooden turns. Loose ball. Cook. 2-on-3. Jayhawks back. Does he want to blow by? Gets the foul as he got contact from Heinrich. And for Kirk, that'll be his 4th.
He is so strong. I mean, if he's taking the ball to the basket, 3 things are going to happen. Number 1, he's either going to score and convert. Number 2, he's going to create an opportunity for a teammate. Or number 3, he's going to get himself to the free throw line. Now the question is, he's got to work to become a really big-time free throw shooter, because if he drives, he's going to get a lot of opportunities at the free throw line.
Busy line for him tonight. Well, a footnote on his free throw shooting is a high school All-American last year. He did shoot 85%. And that Stripes the same place as it is here. Although the crowds are a little bigger, especially in hostile territory.
I can say this. I sometimes wonder about some of the stats we see that come out of the junior college and high school ranks. I'm not trying to say they're not inflated, but man, sometimes they blow me away. And you watch kids, you say, wow, how do they have those kind of numbers?
Omar Cook with 15 on the night. 8-10 as we go down on this possession. And an 8-point game. Jayhawks on top, but St. John's not going away.
Every time that Kansas tries to put that killer punch, they seem to respond.
Collison will go down low now. That'll flash Gregory on the wing. Collison down low. Chenoweth flush foul, and he's going to the line.
Great execution. Spread the court. Go to the high post. High-low entry. Get the ball inside. We're going to take a look up here. Good ball movement. Getting the ball down inside to Chenoweth for the conversion.
Jayhawks have it back to 10. Chenoweth to the line.
He really credits working with his high school coach. He said he worked really well with him and former NBA player, as Jay Billis said earlier, Bob Thornton. In fact, Thornton wore a uniform for the Knicks for a while.
Jayhawks with their first miss this half. 6 out of 7 for the line. Bob Carpenter, Dick Vitale, coaches versus cancer, Jayhawks versus Red Storm, and Boshi will get it on the goaltend.
Yeah, scored a basket. What a play by Mario Kinsey. I know people will not see it, but Kinsey's tip and anticipation created that opportunity for the Jayhawks.
It, and they will come tonight on News 4 San Antonio at 10. Imagine living in a place that saves you time, money. Live closer to stores, schools, a place without traffic jams. Build it, and they will come.
We've laid out a vision that says 100,000 people over the next 10 years.
Millions are now being spent here on this better way of life for you. Meet the man who's planning the future of San Antonio.
This actually is a very nice, very stable neighborhood.
Tonight on News 4 San Antonio at 10. Working for you.
Jack, welcome to Signs and Stuff and Things.
Yeah, I got this spicy chicken sandwich with just the right amount of spice. And it's served hot because we won't make it till you order it. But here's the big thing. It's real chicken breast. You got a sign like that? No. 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 No! Real chicken breast! How do you stay in business?
How fast can I get a chipmunk tube top sign?
College football Saturday. At noon, Miami dethroned Virginia Tech. Now can they slay the Panthers? At 6.
It's Air Force option against Colorado State's passing. A lot of scoring in this one.
Then at 9, LSU rumbles with the rugged running of Ole Miss. College game day at 11 on ESPN. Followed by Pittsburgh versus Miami at noon. Colorado State versus Air Force at 6. LSU versus Ole Miss at 9. Tomorrow on ESPN 2.
Jayhawks 7.5 minutes away from winning the Coaches versus Cancer Icon Classic. And coming up later on SportsCenter, it'll be Bill Pito and John Anderson with Tiger doing a little bit of tumbling over there at Valderrama. The Cavs go for 5 in a row. Cleveland starts the NBA season 4-0. SportsCenter coming up next. We've got a lot of basketball, though, between now and SportsCenter, don't we?
I'll tell you, SportsCenter, I can't miss SportsCenter. I'm lost without it. We got 7 minutes here where St. John's can make their run as you look at the shooting percentages, and that's the difference in the game. Kansas executing, shooting 58%. St. John's struggling, shooting just 40.
Cook, that ball was deflected. A block for Mario Kinsey.
Not a good shot right there by Cook.
Kinsey for Boshi. Now to Collison. Good ball movement by the Jayhawks. And a 3-second call, the first one we've seen in the trapezoid lane.
Yeah, they get
Chenoweth call.
3 seconds on Eric in that lane.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more. The kids have adapted pretty well. 22nd Kansas turnover.
See, the zone forces you to be a little bit more patient, take some time off the clock. Talk about managing the clock. This helps to run some time, reduce the game.
Oh, they needed that one, Willie Shaw.
He can shoot it. I'll tell you, Bob, he is going to be a positive force for St. John's. They got to get him more opportunities. You can just watch. I watched him in practice, and he has really got a great stroke.
Well, he's always been a slasher. Now he's adding the three-pointer to his repertoire, and it's 9 points the Kansas lead. 6.5 minutes to go, plenty of time.
I think Mario Kinsey's got a lot more playing time than I thought he would get here coming into this tournament.
Boshi stopped is Gregory.
He's got to attack
the storm. Cook feeling his way. Looking for an opening. He finds Shaw. Willie slashing.
He said,
there he goes.
Hey, he said I could shoot the J, and I could also slash. I want to be on SportsCenter. My name is Willie Shaw. I'm a diaper dandy.
7-point game with under 6 minutes to go.
Willie plays like that, he'll get on SportsCenter.
Kinsey for Collison, yes, and a foul.
And Kinsey gives it off to Collison, who is the bomb, says Stuart Scott. I'll tell you, Mario Kinsey made a heck of a play right there. If he's going to create, going to take it up, there's the little dish. The 3D man, he drives, he draws, and he dishes the rock. Take a look at Willie. Look at Willie slashing. He heard you saying it. He was a slasher. He puts it off the glass, and he kisses it, says Bill Raftery.
Here's Collison. 6 of 8 at the line last night. 3-point play gives him 11. He's got 9 of those in the second half, and the Jayhawks needed all 3 to lead by 10, 5:50 to go.
You got the chef with the basketball, going to give it to one-twist Willie.
Glover goes right at Collison, draws the block.
Glover's really a space eater on the interior. You got to pick your all space eater team. You better get the name Anthony Glover.
Collison with his third. Because we went overtime on ESPN2 earlier in the night, we're a little behind schedule here at Madison Square Garden. We've got a ways to go, but SportsCenter, rest assured, is next, though a little bit tardy tonight.
Well, they're getting a little loud now. Now the crowd's getting alive.
I like it. Glover spinning it home. 14 for Anthony. 35 points in his first 2 games of the year. after he averaged 10 per night last year.
Should be a great preseason NIT as well. Coming back here for the semis and the finals. Could have Duke out here. St. John's on the free throw line tonight versus yesterday. That's an area they're going to have to really work on. It's got to become part of your basketball system, your offensive, defensive system, and then your special situations.
Glover got them both. Back to 8.
Your defensive stop, putting a lot of pressure now on the basketball.
You know, no matter what happens here, what a good night for both clubs. Heinrich, the bouncer for Chenoweth. Loose ball Cook. Here they come. 3-on-1. The freshman.
Nice pass.
Oh, this is the jam. The follow. The foul.
The center of the line. The Johnnies are jumping with joy. The stands are starting to rock. It's starting to explode.
Eric Chenoweth with his 4th foul on an electrifying fast break by St. John's.
See, I think when they get in transition and they utilize their speed and press and run and jump, I think they become exciting. There's the little dish by the chef as he drops it off. The Cook, there it is. Clever with the miss, but Mr. Cuff is going to follow.
Kansas with a timeout. Second one used by Roy tonight. It comes with 5:23 remaining and plenty of concern over on that KU bench. Down to a 6-point game. St. John's at the line, home court advantage. They've already done it once in the tournament to Kentucky. They did it to UK. They're trying to do it to KU.
I'll tell you, they want to do it to both K's, and we said a little bit earlier that they seemed that they were on the ropes, but Kansas could not put the knockout punch on them, and they've allowed them now to hang around to where it's anybody's game coming down the stretch, and that would just be fitting in terms of having a great finish to what this tournament's been about. Every game has been a nail-biter.
Kyle Cupp will step to the line. Tonight he's had 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field, and he's hit the board successfully 7 times.
You know, Bob,
he's a freshman.
This is the only game that hasn't had really that mystery to it. It's been really basically dominated by Kansas, and now this run by St. John's makes it anybody's game coming down to the last 5 minutes.
Big 3-point play the old-fashioned way by the freshman.
He's going to become a factor on that baseline for him. And when they get that other big kid, Muhammad Chakadi, I mean, that's going to be a great asset, getting that 6'11" guy to block some shots on the inside.
They say he runs like a deer, unbelievably up and down for a big guy, not to mention the shot blocking.
They say he's going to be a tremendous shot. There's a steal. Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
Glover trying to get the timeout as he came down, but he was already out of bounds.
Good call by Donnie Gray. Roy Williams knows a little bit about winning, averaging about 27, 28 wins a year over a 12-year period. That, to me, is a sign of greatness when you can sustain it year in and year out.
Kinsey for Boshi. Entry, Chenoweth, the turn. He didn't use the glass. Off the iron it went. And here's Cook, shifting to his left. Mid-range jumper!
He's got a great change of direction. That Viper Dandy will become a 3S man. He will be super scintillating, sensational. Omar Cook the magician.
3-point.
Oh, what a game. What a game, baby. Coming to the stretch. These Johnnies don't want to go away, Mr. C.
Here's Gregory. Cook gets him on the spin. Omar's second.
Forget about his mistakes that he's made. You just watch some of the positives of Omar Cook. Is he a player? Look at that change of direction, a la Tim Hardaway. And he pulls up with the little short J. Everything good happens when he uses his change of direction and he attacks the basket. When he attacks.
Kenny Gregory at the line. Only 2 of his 16 in the second half. Well short.
First thing he wanted to do after the game last night is see his family, his mom. Reminiscent of Derek Jeter, a classy winner who, after winning a World Series, the first thing he wanted to know, where is my mom and dad? Where's my mom and dad? And that's beautiful to hear. This has been the one Achilles heel of Kenny.
4-point game. Running down to 4.5 minutes for the championship of the Coaches versus Cancer Icon Classic.
You know, he gave him the spark really sure with the 2 threes and that slashing drop.
That's right. 8 points in that sequence.
got to come up with a stop here to quiet the momentum that St. John's has.
There's Willie. For Cook, way out. Dust off, and the rebound, Drew Gooden.
Really tough shot there because Moshe was right in his face. Did not have that good look. He's got to understand what is a good shot.
And when Gooden's in the game, you don't often get a second chance.
Exactly.
That's going back the other way. What's the call? Chenoweth has 4. Is he gone? Wow. Eric Chenoweth fouls out with 4 minutes to go, and Roy can't believe it.
Roy's demonstrating that he's backing up as Chenoweth goes out to that sideline. A victim of the early point of emphasis, toughness.
Eric Chenoweth fouls out with 8 points, 3 rebounds. He only played 6 minutes in the first half.
Well, they want to clean up that tough and rough post play. Before Chenoweth backing in, he can't believe it, and I don't blame him. I think that's really a no call right there, Bob.
25 Jayhawk turnovers. They've just turned their big man over to the bench for the rest of the night.
They're going to look for Willie Shaw for a jump shot.
Cook underneath, Glover. Oh, rejected by Good. Double team. He scored.
Great effort. I mean, you talk about strength. You talk about being super tough inside. King Anthony on the interior was really tough. Oh, they're playing with an unbelievable intensity right now, St. John's.
Jayhawks by 2. Collison short. Ford on the rebound.
We got a mailbox masher, Mr. Carpenter. They score here, this place will erupt.
They last led when it was 14-13. Entry pass. The turn, the slash, it comes out of the hands of Kyle Cuff, but Glover's got it back. He can't quite tie the game and rimmed out on it.
You talk about a miracle shot. He had a bad angle. He's behind the basket. If that baby went down, wow.
Under 3 minutes to go. Jayhawks fighting for survival here. Collison in the lane. Nicely done.
Yeah, great choice. Go to their #1 option on a low post now that Chenoweth's not in the game. You go to Collison, and he can finish down there in a low block.
Yeah, when you're in there, you've got to be so strong to get the shot and so soft to get it to fall.
I like Nick the Quick down there. I think of Nick the Quick years ago, one of the great scorers. Nick the Quick workman at Seton Hall.
Willie Shaw short on that one as he let go from the corner. Now the Jayhawks with a chance to extend the lead. They're up by 4, 2:20 remaining.
And remember, they're so efficient shooting free throws from the perimeter. Heinrich and Moshe are like automatic.
Away from the ball, Cuff grabbing Gooden. And for Kyle Cuff, that'll be his 4th.
It's just been a magnificent, magnificent way to kick off college basketball the last 2 nights. Now, I know there's no doubt that I hype the game and I get overly excited and I get overly unbelievably carried away and belong maybe locked up somewhere sometimes. I can be the first to say it. But come on now, agree with me. Hasn't it been incredible here these last 2 nights?
It's been absolutely wonderful last night and tonight.
Hey, Jim Delaney, please, we don't want to get rid of these exception games. They are benefit a lot of people, and these games are quality, and they really add so much in these matchups.
Well, $1.3 million for cancer research in 5 years.
Enough.
That's all I need to hear.
Exactly. Plus the kids, a great experience here in New York City.
Knicks on this floor tomorrow night. Kids from all over the country on the floor right now, and he missed them both. Kansas by 4. This possession will take us down inside the 2-minute mark in the championship game.
Those 2 free throws could come up big if they get a conversion here. Got to attack the gap of that zone. Dribble penetration against the guy. Mike Jarvis said it to Jay Billis at halftime. We can't just play with the ball passively on a perimeter. Got to attack. That's an attack.
Oh, my! Cook for Wilson!
There it is. He attacked, Bob. He attacked with the dribble penetration, and that created the opportunity. College basketball. You got to love it, baby. You got to feel it. College hoops, nothing like it. Look at the spirit, the enthusiasm. Guys move on, so what? They missed this, baby. There's the dump down, the move down the lane by Glover. So many kids give up the chance to be part of a great atmosphere and environment.
How does Omar Cook know where Glover is? He was actually behind him when the pass was made.
Because he's been doing that all his life on the streets of New York City. A great feel and understanding for the game. And if he does what he's been doing, penetrating there, he will become one of the great guards to play at St. John's University.
Jayhawks by 2, a minute 40 remaining. Gregory driving, spinning, stop cold. It's going back St. John's way as Kyle cuffed Kenny Gregory. Timeout. 1:31 to go.
Can't believe it, baby. Can't believe it. Fantastic.
A coach is there for guidance. A coach is there to give hope. A coach is there with answers. That's what the American Cancer Society is for people who are battling cancer.
A coach in the most important game of all. Life.
Hope, progress, answers.
Every touch.
An arm. It might seem ordinary, but not when it belongs to someone you love, and you'd like to slip something extraordinary onto it.
Every look.
This Christmas, come to K Jewelers, where our diamond bracelets start from just $99.95.
Every kiss.
And every K diamond is hand-selected for exceptional beauty.
Every kiss begins with K.
K Jewelers.
And he slices through the middle. And he takes it to the hole.
Can you leave it on the set just once, please?
Nothing but molars.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is presented by Icon, the way business gets communicated, and in part by Red Zone from Old Spice, intense protection for intense people, and by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with a K.
Well, if you want to wake up in a city that never sleeps, watch St. John's and Kansas battle tonight. 2-point game, a minute 35 to go. What a finish we are headed for. Bob Carpenter, Dick Vitale here, Bill Pito, John Anderson in Sports Center, and they're going around the rinks with NHL highlights shortly. And our question of the night, who's going to win that heavyweight fight? Lewis or Tua? That is the question of the night you can look forward to as Bill and John bring you Sports Center. But hey, lots of hoops between now and then.
That's an M&M'er. That's a mismatch. Lewis will dominate Billy P. And John Anderson. And let me tell you this. This kid is everything Howard Garfinkel told me and more. You're right, Garf. No doubt about it. Garf, you're 100% right. He is going to be a super Omar Cook. I got to give Garf his due. He told me the best passer he had in 35 years at the 5-star camp. Garf is right again.
Cook for the lead. Off to the left. Rebound for Kansas. Guess who? Drew Gooden. He's been ripping them down all night long. 7 rebounds for the 6'10 sophomore.
Kansas going to spread the court.
Under a minute on this possession now.
They're usually so disciplined late in the game in crunch situations. Collison's a good option.
He'll kick it for Heinrich.
Heinrich and Moshe automatic on the free throw line. They spread the court. See, they don't give you a chance to get a lot of help. So well drilled late in the game.
Shot clock at 5. Good. Yes.
That was perfect execution. You couldn't plan that any better. Roy Williams designed that. They worked on that in situations in practice. Just a great job of executing.
Jayhawks by 4, 35 seconds. Glover drives, spins, hangs, too tall. Gooden with another rebound. I think he's pulled down the last 4 misses, and he will get fouled at the defensive end.
And he's got to go make those free throws. He missed his last 2 at the line.
You know, Dick, I was about to say earlier, no matter what happens tonight, both clubs take so much out of this game. KU, of course, wants to win because they're the favorite. But even if they go 1-1, how much does the St. John's club grow up in 2 days here in their own city, playing Kentucky and Kansas and at least getting one win.
Well, you know, the bottom line is St. John's came in not ranked, and I think watching them here for 2 nights, you know they're certainly a top 25 basketball team. And we kept emphasizing the point, we've seen them without their big shot blocking center. When you put him on the floor to block shots, Mohammed out there, that's going to be an entire different dimension that they add. You know, Jay, you talk about size. The big kid, they tell us, will add a special dimension, Mohammed, to their team. I guess Jay is not able to hear me at this moment, Mr. Carpenter.
Well, talking about Mohamed Chikite, born in Bamako, Africa. He was a soccer player, so obviously has the great footwork to go with it. But we can't wait to see him run up and down the floor.
Well, we got Jay right now, so we can go to him. Jay, we're talking about their big guy, how he's going to add the dimension of blocking shots. Chikite.
Well, it'd just be another big body inside, but you have to be impressed with how hard St. John's has played all game long. They may be young, but this team has an awful lot of heart, not only to win last night, but to stay in this ball game and have a chance to win it at the end. I am really impressed with the way Mike Jarvis has brought this team along this early in the season.
Hey, Jay, they're really impressive when Cook is penetrating and attacking.
Absolutely, and when they're going inside to Anthony Glover as well. I thought Kyle Cup did an outstanding job tonight as well.
Yep.
Giving them a presence inside, and you're right, when they get Chikite back, they're going to be that much better because it gives them an inside rotation that they can go to.
And really, by winning last night, it took all the pressure off of them. They could come out free and easy and go after the Jayhawks tonight. They've done it, and now Kansas has missed 5 of its last 7 free throws.
Gooden and Gregory going to have to make free throws because they're going to be on a floor at the end of basketball games, and they got to convert on that free throw line.
Gooden drills that one. 20 for him, and a 5-point lead, 2 possessions with 28 seconds to go.
See, they don't have to go quickly now looking for the 3.
Clock starts right now when he touches it. Cook down to Glover, jumping in, contact, and he couldn't quite roll it over the rim.
I tell you, he is really very unique the way he attacks the basket inside. Roy waving it off.
It'll be Drew Gooden with his 3rd.
I'm going to watch right now the little pass by Cook to Gooden. Gooden now trying to get into the gut of the defense, attacking. Anthony Glover getting it inside.
At the line, Anthony Glover, 5 out of 5 at the line last night. Gotta have it. It is short. Now the best he can do is put his team back to within 4. He needed both of them to give him a chance to tie with a tray.
I'll tell you, Bob, the big possession in this game was the possession, the way they spread the court, Kansas, and got that great execution.
Yeah,
that was really big. Good in finishing it off. That was a big-time play. That's the one that I think put them in great shape.
Glover missed them both. Now they got to get it. And there's a foul.
Looks like got a foul down here again against
looks like Kansas.
Yeah, we're staying at that end of the floor. Wow. I didn't see that one.
Heinrich just fouled out. He had 2 fouls very early in the game. Kirk Heinrich will leave with just 4 points on the night after having a career-high 21 last night. He did have 11 assists. Timeout. Looks like Kansas with 21.7 seconds remaining.
I'll tell you one thing, it looked like Kansas was in complete domination. Looked like they were in great shape in this game, and then all of a sudden was that spurt by St. John's where they utilized their defense as a key. I don't know, Heinrich coming in from the side, climbing the back right there on the right side. It's kind of silly foul. Why would you, with 4 fouls in that situation, come out and make that play? That's not a play for the kid that's supposed to be a leader and a brilliant tactician in the backcourt.
Well, you look at the Jayhawks, what they have coming up. A home date with Illinois State on November 30th. We'll see a lot of them on ESPN in December. They will play on the 7th at Wake. On the 12th, they'll go to Chicago United Center, take on DePaul. Buzz Peterson will bring his Tulsa Hurricane into Lawrence on the 16th. Then they go to Ohio State on the 23rd. So Roy will have his team tested tough by the time Big 12 play starts.
Well, that matchup with Wake Forest will be very interesting because Dave Odom's got himself a heck of a club. I think this year, as I wrote today in USA Today, and also I have it on my ESPN.com, my DickVitalOnline.com, my website, the fact of the matter is that when we look at their basketball schedule, Dave Odom and Wake Forest will present a challenge because I believe that the ACC is going to have 6 teams this year in the NCAA tournament. We know about Carolina, Duke, and Maryland, but also Wake Forest, NC State, and Virginia. And NC State's having a phenomenal recruiting class. They got the best kid out of New York City, Julius Hodge, committed for next season. Herb Sendek's got to be happy.
21.7 seconds remaining. St. John's at the line. I don't hear the Kansas fans chanting Rock Chalk Jayhawk just yet. Normally, when they've got one put away at this point, you can hear them. But at the line will step Willie Shaw, who's had a great game tonight with 12. After playing only 9 minutes against Kentucky last night, not scoring. But now they can't get the lid off the free throws.
Well, he and Glover right now coming up empty at the free throw line. Really hurts, but he had himself a strong performance here tonight, and Willie could build on his performance.
They missed 4 straight. After shooting only 45% last night, they've got to have a steal now.
Here comes the face guard pressure. The face guarding. A lot of pressure to basketball.
In the backcourt, a foul. Looked like either Bangura. It'll be him. He was back there with Donald Emanuel. And for Alpha Bangura, that'll be his 3rd. Oh, now they're chanting Rock Chalk. I can hear it.
Yeah, they're going to get ready. They smell it. They smell the W, and another trophy goes into the trophy case at Allen Fieldhouse for the Jayhawks. They really love November.
Well, 18.4 to go. Gooden could make both and make them. Well, now he can't. Now 2 threes could still beat Kansas.
Boy, looking at the free throw line saying, come on, guys, let's lock this up. Let's put it away, tuck it away, make those free throws.
Now they lead by 5. 21 for Gooden tonight. 79-74. They need a quick hit. Doesn't have to be a 3. There is a 3. It's a little bit off from Willie Shaw. And it'll go back to the Jayhawks, who are about to go 2-0, barring an 11-second disaster.
I'm going to really go on a limb. This game is over. It's academic. Tuck it away. They are putting this one into the victory column, and it's a great effort by St. John's in this tournament to go 1-1. There comes the Rock Chalk Jayhawk chant. Mike Jarvis got to be happy. Got to be happy with a club this young, being tested here, playing against quality competition, Kentucky and Kansas. Just a great way for him to get a true evaluation and get his players to understand that just because many of you were superstars in high school, this is a whole different world. And you're going to remember that name. Take a look at that face. He's going to become a household name. Omar, yes, the magician Cook, the chef at work. He can work in my kitchen anytime. I can tell you that. The chef can flat out handle it. Check Kansas in November. I mean, they're almost as good as SportsCenter. SportsCenter's perfect in November.
Boshi now looking for his 12th point of the night.
That backcourt of Billy P. and John Anderson, they're perfect. Billy P's the ball handler. He'll give it up. Anderson's going to knock down the jump shot.
81-74. Cook for 3. And the rebound by Gooden. A foul on the ensuing play by Willie Shaw.
Come on, guys. Let's get it over, Curtis. Let's get it over. I got to go to dinner. It's late. I got to wait. Tell Donnie Gray to blow that whistle. End this baby. It's starving. It's 11:35. Roy getting a nice 2-0 start. They can build on this. They add Luke Axtell to their formula. Shaking hands of all his staff, saying, great job, guys. And they're saying, that's great, Coach. We appreciate the nice comments, but get us some cash. Let's look at Mike Jarvis.
Well, Mike Jarvis looking disappointed now, but you know, he's got to be glowing inside right now. I think he has seen maybe more from his young club the last 2 nights than he thought he would. It could have been real easy for them to be 2 and out here. Glover Final shot. Did he get it away? Doesn't matter. 82-74. The Jayhawks are the champions, and they are still perfect in November over their last 31 games. What a couple of nights for college basketball.
Fantastic.
This one, 8 points, by far the widest margin of victory after a pair of singles and an overtime. For Jay Billis and Dick Vitale, I'm Bob Carpenter. Sports Center next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, and for more, log on to ESPN.com. Folks, college basketball off to a wonderful start, wouldn't you say?
This is SportsCenter.
No fuzzy math here. At SportsCenter, we know winners and losers.
I understand there's still votes to be counted.
Tiger wearing out opponents and accountants this season, but with the PGA Tour's top draw, remain in Spain. One more day of hype before Lewis and Tua's title bout in Vegas. On the court, the Cavs and Jazz try to keep their undefeated vibes going, while the lowly Hawks want to break into the win column for the first time.
So I'm very optimistic.
Thumbs up or down for Drew Bledsoe's visit to the Dog Pound Sunday. And the Swami really wouldn't pick the Bengals to corral the Cowboys this weekend, would he?
And I think that's what the country needs to know.
Losses are the only result the Chargers have earned this season. At the Garden, the Cats and Bruins want to avoid an 0-2 start, while Omar and the Johnnies attempt to juke the Jayhawks on their home floor.
Each team is going to have to do what they think is best in the best interest of the country.
Exactly. At SportsCenter, we know winners when we see them, like right now.